All right. So I have no idea if this is going to work, or who's going to see it. I don't really know how well the tethering is going to work from this, but and I don't think my upload is continuing. Let me just do one more thing before I head out here. That would be nice if it's still uploading, but it doesn't look like it's uploading. So made a video for my mom and Gracie, which is basically all I'm going to do. I believe this is going to all of my regular channels, but it might not be, which is fine. In fact, you shouldn't have gotten a notification. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't know how you got a notification, because I thought I turned those off. But anyway, so here's my GoPro 9, and this is the attachment that goes on the mirror and the handlebars. This is simply a phone that is tethered also to this phone. Both of these devices are tethered to the internet on this. And then this I'm just going to use for GPS, because I'm going to go up the coast to a like kind of like a national park area. So anyway, and I have the displays off on this so the battery will last. This is more of one of these Mike likes technology afternoons. So I got a bottle of water and something to drink, and I think I have everything. Oh, let me turn off the air conditioner. There we go, before I leave the condo. I have my face mask, but I'm not wearing it. And if you are actually watching on YouTube, then maybe I should have put it in the title, just so people don't think I'm intentionally ignoring them. I can't see any comments, right? Because I'm basically just like looking at a GoPro that's in my hand. Excuse me. I think I may have picked up the sniffles or something like that on the train ride down here. The train ride was awesome. I just love the train in general. It's dirty though. I mean, that's the rub, is that the windows are wide open the whole time. I'm on the far edge of the property. You probably can't even see the water that's right through there. If these trees weren't so intense, then absolutely where I was staying over there, you would have an ocean view, but it doesn't. This elevator talks.
Door closing.
Anyway, I've been at this condo before. Gracie and I actually lived across the street for a month. We stayed here for about about a week.
Where?
For one. Almost a week and a half. And then moved across the street. But again, so this, it's so quiet here. It's amazing. It's really the only people that I see around here are people cleaning up. They take excellent care of this entire facility. I like it. Last time actually we stayed at that place, which is nice because it's right by the pools here. And then from here, I don't know if you can see it in the distance. It's not like there's a zoom. If you just go out there, there's the Gulf of Thailand. So anyway, this is a really, really cool place. Now the other nice thing, of course, right now is that it's middle of the afternoon. It's probably like 2, maybe 3 o'clock. And so that means everyone except crazy white guy is indoors. Actually, no, I'm sorry. When I look at the clock, it was like 1:40 maybe. I can't remember. I want to thank the guys that made the comments on video number 8, because I just lost interest really. Look at this price. for AIS here, which is what I have at home basically. So this is 50 down and 20 up for $5.39 a month, which is about $16, I think. So anyway, so I'm gonna try and mount this contraption. Oh, you know what? Here's the thing I love too about the place that I rent motorbikes when I come here. Every single one of her motorbikes has a white seat. And I've always been like, okay, why do motorbikes have black seats? That's like such a bad idea, right? But anyway, so I'm gonna mount this on the bike. With any luck, that'll allow us, or at least me, to go on a motorbike ride. Now, I've done this before, obviously. I've been on a motorbike ride before. But in the past, I've just screwed my phone to it, and that's a little bumpy. So this is essentially the test to see how well the GoPro 8 jams. So there's that, and then there's this, which I believe is. Let me do this a little bit. I think there might be too much of a leverage thing going on. That this is going to bounce too much, but anyway, that'll be a test of the Hero 8, won't it? So, and for all I know, it's not even working right now, because unfortunately, I can't really monitor it. I saw a guy put his, or I'm sorry, it's not a Hero 8, it's a Hero 9. I saw a guy do a live stream with his on his motorcycle, and he was like cruising along. I was amazed at the noise canceling. So there we go. I can actually put my entire backpack underneath the seat, I think, if I just like basically cram it all in there, which is fine because there's nothing too fragile in there. It's just basically my glasses in there, but my glasses are in a case. It should be okay. Nah, it's too bulky, unfortunately. That's fine. I'll just wear it on my back. Yeah, I was very pleased with the white noise cancellation. Effectively, what this guy seemed to be able to provide an example of. So. Alright, off we go. This one goes in my pocket. This other one, oh boy, I mean, that seat is not even, I mean, it's warm, but it's certainly not hot. That's pretty awesome. Oh, I need to get gas. I've got 2 bars. So, alright, we do the camera. Oh, am I not going to be able to wear my glasses because of the, I wonder here. I don't know if this is going to be able to show me the yeah, we'll see. That might work, it might not. Yeah, alright. Let's see. I think that'll work. Yeah, but with a white seat, I mean, that's just genius move. I don't know whether she's had to do that, because usually, I don't know about you guys, whenever I see a Honda, it's always got a black seat. So, anyway, off we go. This might be pointing down a little bit too much. Hold on. Yeah, there might be too much fulcrum there. We'll see.
In 100 meters.
Oh, good.
Turn right. Turn right.
That was a quick 100 meters, wasn't it? Oh, no, see, then it falls. Hold on. So let's see, if I do turn my blinker off. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, hold on. It might work. It might work. It also might not work. I'll get better at it as it goes along. So anyway, just for fun. Now this doggy here. Oh wait, you know what? I want to reset the okay, cool. Set the trip odometer. I'll set both of these to 0. And I'd like to set the time. Right now it says 7:04. So how off is it? It'd be nice if it was just like 6. Nah, so it's 2. So that's it. So basically it's 5 hours fast. That's fine. It's easy to calculate. All right, off we go. Actually, I made a mistake because Gracie and I have a rule that if at all possible, always take the beach route. So I'm gonna do that. It is pretty jiggly.
200 meters. Turn right.
No, not going that way. You're gonna have to recalculate, Miss Google. Because I'm
150 meters.
going to the beach.
Turn right.
I see where you want me to go, but guess what, dude? I'm gonna drive along the beach.
Turn right. Then
Nope.
turn right.
Turning left. Gonna continue along the beach. The other thing I do is if anyone's ever behind me, I always pull over and let them pass. I'm in no hurry.
Turn left.
chicken back there. That lady, I remember her from in front of the 7-Eleven. She makes good fried chicken. But again, that was a year ago, so it might be a completely different person. Oh my God, there is a Mercedes up here, which was literally the exact car I had when I was in high school. This thing is such a, I don't know what year his is. Mine was a 65, which was nice because it had front disc brakes. 64 and before, this version had drum brakes on the front. So you can imagine that the slowing wasn't great. Mine was black, and this is a nice green though. Obviously mine was left-hand drive. Oh, I think this is a 200. Mine was a 190, so all that means is that his is a 2-liter. Mine was a 1.9 liter 4-cylinder. I don't believe they made these in a 6-cylinder, so I don't believe it's a 2-liter 6-cylinder. I believe it's also a 4-cylinder. And unfortunately, when I drive past it, all you're going to do is see what's in front of it. You're not going to be able to see the left side of it. So, but that is in excellent condition. Yeah, one of his brake lights is out. Yeah, that's not shocking. That used to happen to me all. Oh, maybe when it turns, you can see it. Yeah, look at that, man. That's a beauty of a car. It had a rear axle that had basically flex in the middle, and then it had a giant coil spring underneath it that pushed it to horizontal, basically. But that was the independent rear suspension of the day. That was a great car. That was fun. Driving that to high school. My buddies used to call it the staff car, basically, from their reference for that was Hogan's Heroes, believe it or not. And this is so my speed, driving past the beach. I'm so okay with this. Right now I'm going 16 kilometers an hour, and I couldn't be happier. I really like beach, and coming down here for the 40 baht that it cost me on the train was it was worth every penny. And again, it's not so much the cost, the monetary cost, it's the time cost, right? I mean, I got here probably about 2 o'clock. So under 5 hours in total, which is pretty good for Thai trains. But again, I started at the beginning, and I'll tell you right now, the 920 absolutely left at 920. That was really impressive. We started rolling at 920, and that's cool. That's very pleasing. The train was pretty much on time for a while, and then we had to stop because, if you don't know, many of Thailand's routes, their train routes, they don't have 2 tracks both ways in some areas. They're improving that, and they're installing all that. But sometimes they only have the one line, so what they'll do is they'll stop at a station, and they won't just let like one train pass, they'll let, you know, a couple of trains pass. So that happened to us once for a short period of time, and then a second time for a longer period of time. But then we would go south some more, and we would be going through, we would actually go through we would go through some stops where there would be a train sitting there stationary waiting for us to cross. So this is sort of a nice part of this beach where it's actually fairly deep. I refer to this portion of this beach as Big Beach only because the water doesn't basically come all the way up to a concrete wall, man-made concrete wall. While there is man-made beach here, the nice thing, in my opinion, is that is that it's sand the whole way. And so yesterday was Wednesday, and on Wednesdays they do a couple of things here. They have a night market. They only have it once a week on Wednesday nights here. It's a great market, tons of great food, clothes, everything. In fact, if I ever like get an idea that I should buy clothes in Bangkok, I need to put my money right back into my pocket and spend 40 baht. Whoop, and spend 40 baht and take a train down here, because Wednesday night market is great. I mean, yeah, there's knockoffs and stuff for sneakers and all that, but trying to recenter my GPS. There we go. There we go. The market has good quality stuff, and for little to no money, and by that I mean like a pair of jeans for 100 baht. I mean, again, they're definitely not, you know, genuine True Religions or something like that, but they're nice. Some of them are used secondhand clothes. I'm a big fan of secondhand clothes, always have been, actually. Whoop. I gotta figure out something with this attachment here. It's not really working that great, but again, all it is just a, whoa. Luckily it's a GoPro. I always kind of wondered how rugged these were, and it looks like it's still live, and but it's at 66% for battery, so that's not too bad. And I know what happened. Basically, it was attached here to the cold shoe, and unfortunately it got loose, and then it just shot out at that bump back there. So anyway, you guys like my helmet? If you're ever in Thailand and you're watching like gringos drive around, I'm the one with the helmet. I always wear a helmet. It says live. It says live, and I think it says 1H110. Does that mean I've been going live now for an hour and 10 minutes? I don't know. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I was testing it earlier. So anyway. Well, I will try and tighten this such that it doesn't fall again, but I will tell you, thank you GoPro for indeed making a ruggedized device. Oops. I'm gonna have to do something different than, well, what I really need to do is I need to turn it around so that the cold shoe doesn't sort of drop this to the ground, sort of thing. But anyway, now that I have, cool. Oops. This is all part of the testing, by the way. How do you know if when you drop your GoPro it still works? You drop your GoPro. I hope I got that. I can't really tell whether, can't really tell exactly if I'm live or not, but it's a little distracting, which one could argue is unsafe, but this is the Shy Buddha up here on the left. Or at least that's the name that Gracie and I gave it. Simply because it's one of those Buddhas that's like holding its hands, and, or rather its hands are in front of its eyes. So like, see no evil, hear no evil kind of thing. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if I can't, I'm actually not paying attention to my GPS, and so therefore it's really not worth it to have it. So I'm actually gonna turn that phone off and attach the camera here better. Because I dropped that piece. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it was regarding the helmet stuff, right? So a lot of times Gracie and I, when we're cruising around, we'll be the only people driving around. Like if we go to an island, we're commonly the only people wearing helmets. And hold on. Let me see here. What's that? Oh, I need to turn that off. Ah, shoot. Thanks, Rob. I didn't know you were notified. It bums me out. Oh well, whatever. I guess that's just the way it goes. But anyway. Alright, so let me undo this. Hold on. I cannot tell you guys the freedom that I have, or that I feel, having no real commitment to YouTube any longer. It's been really freeing, and it definitely is a medium that it brings out people that are not like me, and so maybe that makes me, and I'm not talking about like I'm a white guy and there's black, I mean that's not, no. I'm talking about like people that really aren't, I mean I'm goofy, dude, but I mean I'm fairly mature. At least I think I am. And the people, many, not probably any of, not any of you that are watching right now, probably, which is interesting, right? But there's a lot of people on YouTube that I don't want to hang out with. Let's just say that. And so my life's just a lot better without doing it. See, what I have to do is I have to do this and I have to tighten it. All right, here we go. I think those are gonna stay in there while I drive around. Yeah. Cool. Oh, see, now I have 3 bars of gasoline, so clearly I'm driving a perpetual motion machine. The more fuel that I use to drive fast, the more fuel that I generate. Now, there's a neat little sort of village down there. But I like it down here. I mean, I obviously love Thailand. I bet you that's got a lot less vibration on it, which is kind of cool. The light's still blinking, and the only time I ever see the light blinking is when it's like basically recording, and I'm not recording, so I assume it's still streaming live. And think there's a speed bump up here if I remember correctly. But I'm not really, I'm going 31 kilometers an hour. And this is such a great speed. I love cruising around, seeing little villages. Oh, actually they had gasoline back there. I don't know. I think I could probably fit a half a liter in here, so I'm gonna go back and get gasoline. Just because I mean, it's more expensive this way, of course, but. What that means is that it's 10 baht more expensive. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna pull over and then they're gonna put the liquid that's in these bottles in this motorbike. Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap.
Gasoline.
อย่าบอกเขาว่าอะไรนะ9195
I guess Gao Nung. Yeah.
ค่ะ
Gao Sip Nung. You think I have enough?
no
No.
95
Oh, is it?
95
How do you tell?
เนี่ยสีแดงเลด
Oh, the really? So that means Gao Sipa.
95
Gao Ma.
95
Really?
ไม่ใช่
Okay.
95
Oh, okay. Good. That's good. You smart.
ค่ะ
Whole or you think small?
ค่ะเนี่ยสีแดงเลด
It'll fit?
ลุงเรียนบอกเขาดีว่าอันนี้ก็สีแดงนี่ก็สีแดงเลดกับเลดแต่นะ
แดงก็แดงสิน้อย
ก็เนี่ยแดงไง
แล้วก็เติมแดงไปดิ
นี่ก็แดง
โอเคเซม
Sure. Okay.
ลุงเรียนถามเขาดีวันมอหรือทูมอ
วันมอทูมอวันทู
One more. Yeah.
One more.
Yeah. Right? It,
อีกขวดหนึง
Okay.
เป็นทู
is that half liter?
ฮะ
Half liter?
ครึ่งหนึง
เซม
โอเค
พร้อมจับครึ่งเดียวมันเต็มเนี่ยน้อย
ไม่เต็มยังใส่ได้
วันมอโอเค
ใส่ได้ใส่ได้
ภาพก็มีนะภาพแต่ว่าเอานั่นแหละดีละเต็มวันโอเค
Okay. Yeah. Ni mas.
ค่ะ
All right.
60
60.
อะไรซิกปี
60.
ค่ะขอบคุณมาก
ขอบคุณครับ
โอเค
ขายเก่งไง
ขอบคุณมากครับ
ขายเก่งแล้วมาตามอีกนะคะ
วนไปเวียนมาโอเค
Okay.
แล้วมาตามอีกนะคะ
เอาไว้คำพร้อม
Yes.
ไว้อยู่คำพร้อม
I live Bangkok, but Bangkok, but from America. Yeah, California.
ย่า
แคลิฟอร์เนีย
ว้าวแคลิฟอร์เนียโอเค
เดี๋ยวยูขี่ไปอยู่แล้วมาเติม
Yeah, definitely.
เต็มไทยแลนด์นะ
You're but yeah. Oh no, Thailand, much better. So much better.
จออยู่
America, yak. COVID, no COVID, Thailand. Beautiful. Oh my
โอ
God.
เคไอ้ก็ยังโน้ต
Yeah, I have, absolutely, yes. Yes. Keep safe.
โอเคเต็มไทยแลนด์กู
Yeah, Thailand, very good. ขอบคุณมากครับ I just fit here. I don't know how big those bottles are, but all I know is that 60 baht, or basically about $1.90 later, I'm happier than I was before I did that, so why not, right? Yeah, so they take these bottles that used to have, I guess, whiskey in them, and now she was trying to tell me that the way to tell if this bike uses 95 octane, I thought she like looked inside, and I want to say because it had like the bar in there, it was 95, and if it didn't, it would be 91. I don't know if that was correct though, but regardless, I trust the people that do gas for a living to do my gas for a living. And well, I didn't really counter steer on that one. I was going too slow. That's kind of lame. I'll tell you though, thank God, because I mean, you know, if they didn't sweep this street, then there would be sand on the sides, big time. And so I don't know how they do it. I've never seen a street sweeping machine like you would see in the US, but boy, oh boy, thank God they do that. Because I'll tell you, man, sand is the worst thing for a motorbike. I mean, I'm not saying that like ice and oil are awesome, but the chances of me seeing ice here is 0. Chance of me seeing oil, maybe 5%. Sand? Yeah, they have that here. So that's good that they, in the mornings, you walk by any neighborhood and you see the ties like sweeping. And remember at first I thought to myself, what the hell are they doing? They're like sweeping the dirt. Well, I no longer question it, and I certainly don't mock it, that's for sure. And I'm gonna go, let this guy behind me turn left. And oh good. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, the other nice thing, not only do I have resorts to myself, I have even like busy streets I have to myself quite frequently, which is really nice. Look at this bike lane, man. How awesome is this? Nobody behind me right now, literally 0 people. Still no clue if I'm streaming. Although it's blinking, so I have never liked these bridges. Is this kind of like NASCAR where it's like you don't, you know, you basically sit there and you wait for the crash? You guys like waiting for my GoPro to land on the ground? The other thing I love about here is that there's a significantly higher percentage of signs in Thai than there are. I'm actually going to turn around and go right because that'll take me closer to the water, and that's where I want to go. And so I will do that. And there we go. Now, obviously I looked, but I certainly didn't signal. I signaled just then, but. So I had a destination in mind, which was basically a mangrove area, which is north of here. And oh, that's really cool. I have like scrapes now on my I have scrapes now on my camera, which is cool because you guys ever buy a brand new car, you know, like the first scrape, right? Yeah, especially on a black car. I swear I used to get I had 2 black cars in a row, new from the, you know, from the showroom, right? One of them had like, I don't know, 17 kilometers on it. The other one had 11 or something like that, you know, super brand new, right? And I swear, just in driving it home, there was probably like a grain of salt in the air somewhere on the freeway as I drove home. I got home, I swear there were scratches on it. Black cars, what is that song? Black cars look better in the shade? I don't know who did that. Was that like Corey Hart, or was that another? Anyway. The other nice thing about going slow is that, like, if I'm paying attention to my camera and not necessarily the road, if someone comes out at me like that back there, it's like, eh. We both sort of smile at each other, and I don't really swerve out of the way. He's right behind me, so I'm gonna slow down and let him pass. And it's kind of cool. That was a nice restaurant back there. Now, for all I know, I'm like going in a circle from where I came from. This is starting to bank right. And again, the thing I love about it is none of these signs are in English. And I couldn't be happier. The other thing that doesn't really bug me at all about the camera falling on the ground, you know, is that I didn't pay anything for it. The CEO of GoPro had this sent to me, and I really want to thank him, Nicholas, and his team for their detail and, I don't want to say obsession, but certainly at the CEO level, the acknowledgement that making a customer happy is worth a hell of a lot more than the profit you might get from one camera. I'm gonna actually turn back. There was like this little alley that went right down to the beach, and I don't want to go down there and see what that looks like, because I can. There's a dirt path that kind of, well, that goes to like somebody's house. But there was this alley. I don't know if it was, oh, there's one, but actually there was this other one that I saw that looked even more sort of clandestine. I think it might have been here. That's a resort. Yeah, I think it's up here on the right after the speed bump. Oh no, there it is. If you're ever wondering how to find the best beaches in Thailand, this is exactly how you do it. Remember how I showed you guys before that like all you gotta do is look for a thing where the sign says beach? Well, when it doesn't say beach, that's also a good place to go. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave the keys in the car, is what I almost said. I'm gonna leave the keys in the motorbike. I'm also gonna leave my bag. I'm actually not gonna walk in the beach because I can already see that. This is pretty common for this whole coast right around here. Which is Cha Am, and then of course all the way down is Hua Hin. But you'll see this. You'll see basically like a little path that comes to stairs that goes to the beach, and then there's effectively at high tide there's no beach. And there's another beach that's down there which is kind of cool, but I kind of want to go back this way and then maybe I'll drive up there. I can't decide. Now this right here looks to me like a resort that is completely closed. There's a, now you know what, I did realize, I found out that there's a zoom on this, but I can't like really touch the screen, and it was only a 2x zoom, but I noticed that they did have a zoom on it, so I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, because I mean that is one of the downsides to a GoPro, right? Anyway, so that hammock right there, I'm sure that that's that is the, this is my contraption. I'm sure that's the security guard for high security. I think there's more damage done to the clamps on this silly thing than the actual. Okay, there we go. I guess I could test and see if this is actually live or not. Hold on. My phone's hot, so that means to me that it's absolutely streaming. Stream health, 1 hour and 31 minutes. Well, the GoPro app tells me that I'm live. Oh, I went live on Bangkok Strange too, huh? Oh well. Now you can log in and turn that off if you want, Dana. Sorry about that, buddy. You know what I did is I hit a everything on button, and so unfortunately that went to a whole bunch of places at the same time. Okay, cool. So there are, yeah. So there's all right. So cool. So there's the GoPro app. So here's what's interesting: is I read a lot about the GoPro app, you would have no idea. There is so much wind right now. I literally just listened to like about 4 seconds of that on YouTube. Man, these microphones, the technology inside this device blows me away. I cannot believe how much it like basically squelches. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't check to see how. I got 47% battery. I'm gonna do this until the GoPro dies. That was another part of this test. Actually, you know what? I want to sip a soda, so stand by. Yeah, there's no. So anyway, so I briefly saw Nico's comment. Thanks a lot, Nico. Good to see you, buddy. I'm always honored when you come by. If you guys don't know, Nico was the first person to ever give any money to this channel. Via super chat in a live stream, as well as on PayPal, and I honor you for that, sir. Thank you. I'm humbled by that. So, but anyway, so the technology. So whatever genius they hired to write the algorithm that basically gets rid of the wind noise, man. Every other device I own, I wish I could just download that. That would be great. But anyway, yeah, so Nico, I saw your comment, no tourists. There are 0 tourists here, dude. Which is, so here I like it. When I was in Pattaya, it was arguably weird. And I'm not quite sure why. Because a lot of these beach places I go to, I go to and I also come back to them purposely this time around now because of the COVID, you know, disaster. You know, I mean, I go out of my way and I make plans to come to these places because there's no tourists. And the other thing too is that, you know, if I like stop on the side of the road and so here's what's kind of cool too, right? So the people that sold me that gas, so it was the woman that like put it in the, you know, in the gas tank, right? Oh, and where am I, by the way? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got 5 bars. I think there's a total of 6 available, but that's cool. The whole family was there. So there was the man who spoke a little bit of English and the woman that spoke a little bit, but a little bit more. She was a little younger, so I'm thinking she's probably like the first generation daughter. And you know what? I think this goes to a pier. This might just appear at a pier. I think I'll go on the other side and avoid that speed bump. Yeah. It's merely a suggestion, right? It's kind of like a yield sign. It's like, well, you don't really need to stop. It's kind of a yield sign. You see that poop back there, Dana? In Dana's mind, that probably means I'm close to the beach. Okay, so I'm at the fishing village. I know where I am. Man, I gotta tell you, I love Thai fishing boats. I don't know why it is a custom in Thailand and actually other countries in Southeast Asia now that I think it's gonna get bumpy, so this may flop over, but to paint your boats really colorfully, it's really nice. So, bumpy. And as you might guess, obviously those guys looked at me like, you know, you're talking to your handlebars, right? Of course, they're the ones that are drinking, so I'm sure it's even more confusing. But I love Thai fishing boats. It'll be interesting for me to listen and watch this on the replay, because I'll definitely be curious to see how the 9 is affected by these bumps, because because obviously they're bumpy enough such that you know what, I need like a lock nut, because I've got like basically the shaft. I've got, Dana, if you're still there, you'll know that I have the Ulanzi, right, like the attachments. And I can't remember like what thread that is or what they call the standard thread that everyone uses in photography, but it's got that. And on one side, it does have like a lock nut kind of thing, you know, with like a burled end or however you say that. And, but man, look at that. How cool is that? That just like looks cool to me. Look at all those. I mean, you know, they're like, okay, we're gonna go fishing. Well, how many pots should we bring? We should bring the maximum amount that we can. And I wonder how you say that in Thai. But I mean, look at these, man. So, and here's what I love about that, is that my buddy Dana, if he's not here, he has a phrase, which is the way you do something is the way that you do everything. The way you do one thing is the way you do at least many things, let's just say that. And if you've ever seen, like when Mexicans will, this happened in San Diego all the time, there'd be a yard sale. The Mexicans would come up with their vans and their trucks like at like 5 in the morning and just go up and down the streets that all had yard sales, and they would pack their vans and their pickup trucks with as much stuff as they could. But they would have specific goals, right? So there would be like a mattress guy, and then there would be like an electronics guy, and then there would be like an auto parts guy. And all that he would put in his van or his pickup truck would be those items, right? And then you would see these vans driving down the freeway in San Diego to go back over the Mexican border. And they would have, I mean, 2 to 3 times the height of the pickup truck. It would be loaded with mattresses. And you know, I'm sure you've also seen, you know, a family of 4 on a motorbike here in Thailand. And, you know, not every single one of them traditionally is, you know, a full-grown adult, which of course a full-grown adult in Thailand or the Philippines is simply a 11-year-old in the United States. But nonetheless, they have, I just think it looks so cool. And I don't know whether they're like home for the day and they leave in the morning, or whether they're home for right now and they leave like when there's the full moon, or they leave whenever. But then I don't know what kind of pots those are. I assume it's a shellfish of some kind, maybe shrimp. I'm guessing shrimp. I'm quite certain they don't have lobster here. Hold on, does that boat have like a hole in the side of it? Like, oh no, that's just one of the pots hanging out over the edge. Okay. Is it? Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, so it's a piece of wood. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm looking at as I drive over sharp rocks and burst open my tires. Yeah, no. So it was just basically way over there. There's that piece of wood that's over the side of the boat, which is simply there with like a rubber mat, and they just simply bring the, oh, excuse me, oh my god, I've never done that before in my entire life. They bring the pots back over that way, and so that piece of wood as well as rubber covering eliminate any damage you might do to the boat. But check that out, man, how cool is that? Now, let me be clear. It is difficult for me to go fishing for 4 hours on a boat that has like air conditioning. Even on a sunny day, even in low seas. First of all, it doesn't really interest me. But secondly, it's just like, it's like work, you know? I cannot even imagine the work that is necessary to be a fisherman. I would argue that it's probably harder to be a fisherman than it is to be a farmer. But I don't know. I've never tried either. Anyway, so that's what the boats look like, and then that's what the boats look like when they don't have pots on them. So if you've ever wondered, hey, I wonder why they have those arms there, or I wonder why they have that piece on the stern, or why do they have, well, because they fill them. They fill every inch. And I don't know if you could tell, but like the way that they put it on the side, it's just a whole bunch of pieces of bamboo going out perpendicular to the gunnels, the gunwales. I'm probably in, like, guy's windows open over there. I'm probably keeping him awake. He's probably like, dude, we're fishermen. We sleep during the day. We fish at night. Go away. Go away, gringo. He probably looks out and he's like, oh God. He looks at the front of my motorbike. He sees a sticker. rentals. He's like, yeah. Well, hopefully this jackass will buy a ton of shrimp this evening for dinner, which I will actually. Now that I think about it, I will purposely have fish for dinner, which I know that sounds like, okay, well, why wouldn't you? Well, for whatever reason, like, I like fish, it's okay, but I really like Thai vegetables, or I like chicken. Lately, I've really been in the mood and have had, oh, cool, can you guys see this monitor lizard? He's pretty tiny. I've never seen them like sort of near the sea. They're so graceful, man. Anyway, now that I've done that, I have to retighten this, but all right, there we go. Anyway, take care, Mr. Monitor. Dr. Monitor. I wonder if any monitor lizards have PhDs and they call them Dr. Monitor. I've been watching Grey's Anatomy. Dana's wife Jib recommended that to me because I'm like, well, what's a TV show that's got a bunch of seasons? And she said, oh, Grey's Anatomy. Now, I think there's only 15 of them available on Netflix. I thought there was only 15 just because that was how many was available on Netflix, but someone told me that there's 18. And I gotta tell you, if I were to summarize Grey's Anatomy, I think the easiest way to describe it to somebody, certainly if they're of my vintage, is it is the Lilith Fair version of Doogie Howser. There's a little bit too much narration for me, actually. It's a little bit silly, but I get it. It's entertaining. It passes my time. Vulcanizing back there. Not a part of the so what's interesting, actually, you know what, if I go left, oh, I know where I'll end up basically at an area similar to where we just went. But there will be oh, you know what, let's do this is kind of fun. Now obviously the way this works in a shared bridge paradigm is that since there's someone down the other end, I wait for them to come my way, and then I go back. And then the person who comes the other sees me, and they wait for me to go. You hear that it's wood, right? Oh, here you go. Here's a minivan. Definitely a divot in the center. Welcome to a Thai village. It smells very fishy here because there's tons of fish. Actually, there was tons of crab back there, so maybe that's what they fish for. The cool thing about like when a Thai person is in a hurry, I've experienced, is that they will be behind you, and then when there's an opportunity, they will go around you quickly. Which, again, that happens in the United States, happens in Canada, happens a lot less in Canada. Happens more in the United States, happens in Mexico. The difference here, which I really appreciate, is the fact that they don't go around you very quickly and then look back to basically give you the eye in judgment of you not going at the speed that they want to go to. And I like that. In fact, I no longer do that because you don't do that here. Yeah, so, okay, so I see where I went. So what's gonna happen actually is I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna take a right, and then on my left is gonna be the gasoline family all over again. So we will wave at them. And had I had some degree of ability to see your comments and that sort of thing, then we might even do some super chats right now and give those people the money that we get for super chat, because they had a lot of full bottles there and not a lot of customers, so that's all right. I will be back. If I ever need gas, I will come back to these people. It will be fun. But yeah, they're coming up on my left, I think. So we'll give them a horn. How's that? And we'll say hello. Hello. Little wins, ladies and gentlemen. Little wins. How does Mike define little wins? Smiling. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna come up here to the kind of like the main road again, and then I'm gonna open up my Google Maps and see how far away I am from the mangrove area that I was looking at earlier. Does that look kind of interesting? I'm really glad actually that my camp, this is like such a tight turn, it's like really kind of hard to almost counter steer. Anyway, wow, so that house back there, that's been for rent for a long time. Like, in other words, since Gracie and I were here last. So if it wasn't being rented in November, December, January, imagine how less likely it was to get rented in March and April. And the place that I'm staying, I first rented it through Ergoda, simply because the woman had it listed. It's on Agoda Homes, and I got it on Agoda Homes because it was cheaper than the exact same place rented on or advertised on Airbnb. But for whatever reason, it would only let me reserve it through Saturday. So I'm like, oh, okay, she's booked. And then I checked again this morning. I'm like, well, I really want to stay here through Monday, which is the 9th. And I'm gonna take a look at my GPS standby. And so I went on to Airbnb and was Googling, because I know that in this condo complex, there's a number of people that have condos for rent. So I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll just like get a place down the hallway, basically. And I went on there, and her place was available for $22, because Airbnb was doing the conversion for me. So it was like, I've been streaming for 2 hours, not necessarily on not necessarily 2 hours on YouTube. I was doing it earlier through Restream and then RTMP. So what was the last, I was at the what was it called? Mangrove. There was one that was fairly close, or at least I thought it was close. Let's see, what did I Google before? I think maybe it was like national parks or something, maybe. Yeah, I think I Googled like national park. I know it was like an hour away, so. Oh yeah, there we go. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but I'll throw it right here. Bang Taboon Mangrove Forest Conservation. And so if I throw that in there and hit directions, from my condo, it was about an hour away. From where I am right now, Google tells me it is an hour away. 68 kilometers. So, anyway, I'm gonna take a right here, and I'm gonna just simply drive up the coast And after I get like 30 minutes in, if my bum doesn't hurt too bad, then I may consider continuing, but I might not. So anyway, oh wow, I'm streaming at 3940. That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good tethered to my phone. I gotta tell you, AIS, I think they're great in this. I have the way that they provide Wi-Fi in the condo I'm in is they have one of those, like, so a lot of people refer to it sometimes as pocket Wi-Fi. It's effectively the same thing in the sense that there is a SIM inside of this router, but then it's like a very small Wi-Fi TP-Link router, and so that's how it provides internet. I'm getting about 20 down and 20 up, so that's fine. It's free. And before I left, I was uploading a video that the videos I upload, I'm just going to give them to my mom and Gracie. That's really my goal right now, to kind of show them what I'm doing. Because my mom won't watch live streams with any degree of interest. But if I, like, you know, walk on the beach and go to places and talk about stuff that I'm doing, then that's interesting. And the video that I shot this morning, walking around on the beach, just after sunrise, was also a spot that I used to walk at sunrise at least 50% of the time in the mornings, the last time Gracie and I lived here. But you see those signs up there, man? Thai only. Oh, love it. Love everything about it. All right, so the street back there to the right, that was the one that I went down before, and I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go to the right because that'll take me a little bit closer to the beach. This is a turn you don't take blindly, that's for sure. All right, cool. I gotta tell you, I love driving in Thailand because I have not had, I don't think I've ever had a person beep at me. And I can tell you, in the US, man, when I'm like, if I've got a rental car and I'm cruising around and I don't know where I am and I'm not really like tightly knit to Google Maps or something, I don't know where I'm going and I'm driving too slow and I turn the signal on and I'm not supposed to, or I didn't mean to because I'm going the wrong way and I want to turn around, I get beeped at, you know, at least half the time. Although to be fair, I suppose it where you are, because Gracie and I remember when she and I were down in Florida and we were exploring. I don't remember getting beeped at in Florida that much. I remember getting beeped at in Coronado on my street when Gracie was driving, and she was literally driving like 200 meters up the street to the stop sign so we could practice. And this guy who was like behind us, who for some reason didn't seem to have the skill set that he could go around us, started beeping at us because he, you know, I mean, we're going like 7 miles an hour. I was just like, it was, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, if moved here or want to vacation here or want to move here. One of those moments where I'm living in the US and something happens and I just exhale and I'm like, I cannot wait till I don't live here anymore around these freaking baboons. And buffalo. You know what was interesting about that buffalo back there? It wasn't sick. Maybe I should take a picture of that buffalo, put it up on my YouTube website, or my YouTube, and then give you guys my PayPal link and say, #sickbuffalo. Please help. Too soon? That's a street I've never been down until now. Hey. I don't know if you're still watching, Dana, or if you come back and watch this. There is a significant amount of poop on the street. And I'm guessing, see, there we go. Slow, straight. Yeah, it's unfun.com just back then. Especially because it was on a turn. This dirt's a little bit more hard packed, but still, I do not like dirt on the road when I'm motorbiking it. I'm gonna go with buffalo or cow poop that was on the road. And just for clarity, it seems like the further away I get from the beach, the more fecal matter is on the road. This looks like a major road. It looks like a dirt road up there that like just follows the power lines. Clearly we have to check that out. So I'm gonna do this both ways, but so can you guys see like there and then down that way? Zero traffic, right? He says as there's a pickup truck coming right towards me. Wondering what is this friggin' gringo doing? I used to do this a lot in my Land Rover down in Mexico. I would just drive down dirt roads and I was new, right? So I would like relate to my friends that had lived in, this is specifically San Felipe, that had lived down there, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I was just like driving down in my truck, you know, kind of in the middle of the sunset, and it was cool, and I still hung out there, and they're like, what, after dark? I said, well, yeah, sure, it was cool. I mean, I saw some cars in the distance, and they're like, did they approach you? And I'm like, well, no, they were off in the distance. I just saw the lights, and I was just kind of hanging out. And they're like, well, if it was the army, because it's not federales that do that, by the way. A lot of people refer to any police that are like in the middle of Mexico as federales. That's rare. Usually it's the army. And usually the Mexican army is paid to be where they are. If they're basically in the barracks and they're hanging out, they're there because the Mexican government is paying them. If they're out somewhere and they're standing with their guns that traditionally aren't loaded, and they're inspecting cars as they come in, usually tourists, and leaving, they're paid to be there by the U.S. Army. Sorry, by the U.S. government. I'm not sure whether it comes out of the Army fund, but they're effectively there for ideally stopping the muling of drugs up into the United States from Mexico. They really could care less what you're bringing into Mexico, but they inspect you both directions for, and I realized that because after doing it enough, I ended up got to know these guys. And when I would come down, they would just see me and they'd be like, go for it. Well, they'd wave me through, you know, because they'd be like, are you bringing any drugs in? No, I work in IT. So this is a eco camp. Eco camp. So there's like places to stay. It's pretty empty though. Oh, that's cool. So there's like a soccer field or like a, oh, it's like a basketball court. Interesting. Oh, cool. Hello, cop. Cop. Open or closed? No, open. Okay, cop. Very good. Okay, cop. It says, so those are 2-story over there. Pretty large, actually. And then they have ones that like have a little river out the back there. I saw a sign back there that said seminar room, so I assume that people rent this for, you know, big groups. There's a big cafeteria style place over there. I don't know if you saw that up there on the left that I just passed. It was well, certainly it was the hull of a boat, and then above it they built what looked like a place to live. So I don't know how much I still see the red light blinking, so I'm not sure how much power I have on my, not sure how much power I have left on my phone, but I also don't know how much power I have left on the GoPro. Let me see. I can take the phone out. I can look at my phone while I'm driving because I'm good at it. So I got 65% on my battery on the phone. So I'm gonna go with like, probably 30% left on the phone. I don't have the beep turned up all the way really loud. It's really loud if you leave it on the default loud setting. So I turned the beep all the way to low. So the only downside of that is I have a feeling that when I get to the point where I can't stream anymore, I won't hear the beep. But so that's kind of like mangrovey over here, sort of. Look at all these shells. I guess these are like oysters. So what would that make these? Freshwater oysters? I don't know. But it looks like there's like a whole lot of dead mangroves. Or trees, or I don't know if you just call them I mean, when I see trees like growing out of the river or whatever, I think to myself, oh yeah, that's a mangrove, when in fact it probably is not. There's, you know, I don't know. But I like the discovery process. That's fun for me. There's a real modern house over there to the left. And the guy had 2 cars. I only saw the one SUV, which is the really expensive, I believe it's the really expensive Mercedes SUV. It's very boxy and square. I believe they're the G series. And before they became really even available in the United States, I believe the word that they would use to refer to them is Galdawagen or Galawagen or something like that. I think it's German for ugly station wagon, but Balantele Samran. That's definitely, I mean, Tele, obviously that's sea, so anything that points to Tele I will usually go to. I'm gonna cruise up here a little bit. I mean, Thailand truly does have everything, right? I mean, this is a very well maintained road, fairly new. And then we just came off of a dirt road, you know? Off here to the left is a Thai style house that's up on pillars, but it's not made out of wood. But very Thai style house. And then back there was that super modern brown stone / glass with metal frame windows, and the guy's probably $250,000 SUV. And the reason I say that is because, yeah, you could probably pick one up for like $100,000 in the United States, but if you guys don't know, like the Mini Coopers, those are $100,000 here because of the import duty. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, the statement like items are only worth what people are willing to pay for it. Well, this guy is not willing to pay that for a Mini. That's ridiculous. Okay, it says viewpoint. So where's that? Oh, Forest Park. There's a Forest Park. Guess what we're going? We're going to a Forest Park. Now, I don't know if this is the one that Gracie and I have been to before, which means there's going to be monkeys up ahead. That would be neat to get a live stream of some monkeys. Not quite sure whether this is where that is. I should have Googled Forest Park. It's actually, it seems equally as common in Thailand to have a place labeled Forest Park as it is National Park. So, okay. I guess I'm in the wrong spot. That looks like a... I mean, obviously this is the end of this road. What's over here? It looks like 2 barns. So, what'll happen, I actually forgot this. In Thailand, it's very common to have a sign, right, that says, you know, like, you know, item left, right? But a lot of times it'll be long before the street that is where you're supposed to turn. And so what I did incorrectly here, I believe, is that I saw this sign that basically pointed down this street. to a forest park, and I thought, oh yes, it must be here. This sign right up here in front of me. And that could potentially simply mean that the forest park is up here on the left. So we'll see. I'm quite certain it's loud. I'm only going 45 right now, just so you know, to give you an idea of what 45 miles an hour of, or sorry, 45 kilometers an hour of wind sounds like. Here, but I'm going to go left here. Oh, there's the sign back there, the Department of Rural Roads. Ah, look at that. Khao Nang Pranturat Forest Park. Khao Nang Paturat Forest Park. So that's how you follow the sign. So what happened was, oh, let me not get hit by that back though. He got a little close to me. That was coming right for me. That would have been an interesting shot if I had like if I had the GoPro on my head. I still see a blinking red light, so that tells me I still have battery and I'm still streaming. I don't know if that statement's accurate or not, but anyway, so where I took a left back there, that was actually the road that sign way back there was indicating that I take a left at. So that's an, well, I don't know how, I was gonna say an important safety tip, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? At least to me. I mean, I'm always just like exploring, so it's like, big deal. I will tell you my experience with this GoPro 9 from an audio perspective is that like normally the GoPros have really, there's a significant amount of attenuation that occurs when you're behind the camera talking versus when you're in front of it. Like, in other words, what the camera is shooting is usually where the microphone is pointed, right? Which makes sense, it's an action camera, right? I mean, the information you're gathering is in front of you. I need some water, my throat is dry. But clearly they've also installed a microphone on the back or underneath or something like that, because when I was walking with it this morning, the audio that it was grabbing from behind the camera was maybe 10 dB down from the front. It was not as significantly lower, more poop, as other GoPros I've experienced when guys are walking behind them. So anyway, so it said 5 kilometers. I didn't look down to see what kilometer I was at, but I'm gonna go with I've already traveled 1 kilometer. So in another, I was gonna say in another 3 kilometers approximately, I bet the forest park will be up here. So that almost looks like a speed bump. I mean, it's a little bump. Howdy cop. That's cool. You know, I gotta tell you, when like the Thais were originating, you know, like, I mean, obviously the Buddha's 2,563 years old, but that sort of thing, right? But long before there was the Buddha, well, long before there was Thailand, there was Siam, right? And then, anyway, so there were people here. And at some point they were just, you know, coming up with norms and social norms and communication norms and communication paradigms and that sort of thing. And obviously, many of you will know that one of the common communication paradigms in Thailand is the smile, right? But I gotta tell you, whoever came up with that, genius. Because it is so cool when I drive by. Look at how that's a cute little sign for the train, huh? These are the tracks that actually I came down to come to this location that I'm at. And it'll be interesting to watch that back and see what kind of bumps that rendered in the video. I was only going probably about 10 kilometers an hour, but it just simply makes me smile when I see another person smile at me. And I think after coming to Thailand enough and like having interactions with people that were genuinely smiling at me, like not ones that would just smile at me because they wanted me to buy something or buy them. I would go home and I would like walk up and down the street and people would pass me in the opposite direction. Okay, so 2 kilometers from right here. And my odometer, my trip odometer just turned over 143. So at 145, we will apparently come to this national park. I would walk up and down the street and I would smile, and where I lived in Coronado, many times people would smile going the other direction. But in other parts of areas I would go to, many other parts of San Diego, someone comes to you facing you, smile at them, they would look straight ahead, wouldn't even like make eye contact. Now I expect that like in Boston and New York City. Actually, you know what? I was just gonna say I also expect it in like Washington, D.C. Last time I was in Washington, D.C., I recall people being fairly friendly. New York City and Boston, not so much. You know, I think I've been, you know, the other nice thing about me having like no memory is that I was just gonna say, I think I've been here before, but honestly, I have no clue. I saw a sign back there with like a pink elephant with like a weird looking trunk that I assume is the symbol for this national park. And there's a part of me that remembers a pink elephant national park, but I can't remember whether I've been here or not. Maybe. We'll see. Still blinking. Now what I do when I stream on YouTube is I turn 1 kilometer from here. I turn on 144. Good. That kilometerness is actually quite accurate. I turn on auto on so that when I start streaming, YouTube will start streaming. But I do not turn on auto off. So a lot of times what that will do is that'll allow YouTube to be fairly forgiving in my streaming. So that if there's loss of connection, a lot of times it'll just swirl, but then when it reconnects, it'll continue on the same stream. It won't instantiate a new stream, so. So what's crazy is that this meter down here, it's going from 143 to 144. That's really weird. Okay, so there's several signs. I have been here before. I think I was here with Gracie. No, see, now it just said 143, 144, 142. Unfortunately, I believe what that is the number of kilometers left I have that I can drive. So let me hit the select button and go to the, oh, now I'm at the trip odometer. Okay, cool, so that's 219. I bet if I were to go another kilometer. Yeah, I have been here before. And off to the left here, at this puppy, is the national park. Gracie and I have been here before. And I do believe that there's an opportunity or a possibility that once we come up here, there will be monkeys. Now, if I remember right from the last time when Gracie and I were here, right around now was when we started seeing a few monkeys. And then, as we got closer, there were more monkeys. Now, a lot of times these monkeys will come out here based on the fact that, you know, they're like, okay, well, this is where the people come. And this is where the free food is. But if you got no tourists, I'm sure they're like, okay, we gotta go somewhere else for our food because no one's showing up. Because I definitely recall last time, by the time you got here, there were definitely like at least half a dozen monkeys. And there are 0 monkeys right now. Also, a lot of finding water tonight, because obviously it's been, oh, I can't. Tourist carrying capacity 300. Study cop? Is open? Can go? Okay. Need? Okay, cop. Cop, con, cop. And phone number, right? Oh yeah, 1572. Wait. Okay, there we go. Top my cop. Oh, and I can. Okay, good. So I'm gonna scan this over here, because actually what I did is I manually gave him my phone number, but with this QR code, because my handwriting is not excellent, if I get, if I scan this and there's an issue in here, then what happens is it will notify me of any COVID imperfections. Okay, I'm checked in. Now I looked down, and what it looked like, it was doing about 2 kilobits a second, and I've been, every time I had looked at that in the past, oh, there's a car behind me. Every time I had looked at that in the past, so that's interesting. You probably didn't see it as we drove in. So on the right, there was this huge sign, and the maximum amount of people that are allowed in here at any given time is 300. And there's, you know, numbers there that the guy flips over, and it was at 5. So I'm person number 6 inside this national park. And I assume that's not including the workers that will be the people that I see most often here. So now, the last time I was here, there were monkeys by this time. And there are no monkeys now. But yeah, Grace had been here because it brings back ridiculously awesome memories of having her right next to me. There's a little coffee shop over there. Maybe I'll go over to the coffee shop and have something to eat, or something to drink. The parking lot is up here on the left. And the last time Gracie and I were here, off to the right, this sort of little mountain was where we saw a ton of monkeys. And I don't see any right now. But what I'll do is I'll park, and we can go for a little bit of a walk. What am I doing on battery? So battery on my phone is at 57%, so that's good. And I think if I double tap GoPro, oh, it's in the yellow for sure. Oh, it looks like it says 8% on the battery. So here's what I'll do. I will detach this from the motorbike, and I'll cruise over to the, as I mentioned, sort of, let's label it mountain area. And I've got my mask on and my backpack. I'll loosen that a little bit. But yeah, so the last time we were here, we didn't drive, we walked out here. and there was a there was woods full of monkeys, and there's not now, which I understand. And in fact, the last time we walked up there, there was a car up there, and it had, you know how like when you come to these places, there's guys that like will just be selling tons and tons of bananas on the street. 7% battery on my phone here, or on my camera. But yeah, not even one. My monkey. No monkey. My monkey. I love national parks, and I really like this one actually. Well, sorry, forest park. But I don't know how to say monkey in Thai. Sorry, cap. Oh, they're fixing a fan. That's very cool. I tried to do that before. It didn't work after I fixed it. Well, it wasn't any worse off, but unfortunately the oscillation portion didn't work. Plastic parts. So, wow, yeah. So, if Gracie, if you're watching this, undoubtedly you remember walking here. And in fact, the last time we walked here, right about, let's see, right about like there, kind of like on this bend, I believe it was a SUV. Maybe there were two cars actually, but it was one of those deals where the car was there, and you know, they purposely came here with fruit to give to the monkeys, and were doing so. And the monkeys were climbing all over their car. And in fact, I remember, I'll have to put, I don't know if, no, I won't bother, because I'm not going to edit any of this, or I just do this for Gracie and Mom's benefit, really, and you guys too. I mean, trust me, I'm not doing YouTube because of the guys that are my friends, effectively, certainly my acquaintances, and the definite relationships that we've built just via the chat, quite frankly. It's the other people that are lame. And I don't have any tolerance in my life for lame, because my life is awesome. And guess how you keep your life awesome? Guess how I keep my life awesome? I don't know how you do it, but when there is a behavior of a human that basically makes me turn my head sideways in confusion like a puppy that's never seen himself in the mirror, that is an indication that the interface I'm having with a person is unbeneficial. Oh, you know what? Gracie and I, we actually rode down here. We rode the bike down here because all the way down there, all the way at the end is like a quarry. That was actually open last time. I assume these guys, oh, you know what? Let's check out that sign, because again, I don't think I'm going to interface with any monkeys, but just in case I do, so beware, if the monkeys come out and grab the equipment and food away from you. Now, as far as I know, that's the monkey from Family Guy that was in Chris's closet. Correct? I believe so. Anyway, I don't know if they still open at 6 in the morning. That guy over there was, anyway, he's a gentleman just sitting on the ground there, like park ranger kind of thing. But the camouflage fatigues he was in, I find interesting, because, you know, he's here basically working in the national park system, right? Forest park, in this forest park. And one could argue that, you know, he's here for safety and information and that sort of thing. So I would think to myself, well, if that's the case, then the last thing the guy wants to do is wear clothing that makes it so you can't see him, like inside the woods, right? I mean, his camouflage gear was good. It was quite excellent. It had browns and deep greens and stuff. And I'm like, if you were like in the bushes over there, dude, there's no way I'd see you. So I'm not really I don't really understand why that would then be standard issue for for a park guy, but who knows? Maybe he's only doing this park thing in his spare time, and most days he's sporting an AK. You guys ever heard the statement about how lily pads, they double like every day or every month or something like that. I can't remember whether that is simply a statement like, hey, you've got it, like a word problem you would get like in, I don't know, like the 5th grade or something, faces. And whether it was like, okay, you've got a pond and there's lily pads in there. And for the sake of this word problem, every day the number of lily pads doubles. How long does it take for the entire pond to be covered in lily pads? And I don't know whether it was just like a hypothetical thing or whether in fact every day the number of lily pads doubles. I'm trying to remember, I mean, and I was thinking, okay, so for some reason I just flashed back on 5th grade and Mr. Biscardi's class. So I don't know if that was when I first heard this word problem or something like that, but adventure. God, if I only had camouflage, then no one could see me back here. Not even the park ranger. Okay, this is a little muddy. It's damp, but not bad, not bad. Oh, I'm sure there are no mosquitoes out here. Great. No, I don't have mosquito stuff on. What do you call that? Mosquito repellent. And I don't have mosquito repellent. I don't have anything with DEET. Okay, so I hear a noise way over there, and I have 0 visibility on whatever that is. Now I assume this is rice, right? It is all wet and muddy down there, and rice paddy. And then this is the standard, like, we build up a section of dry soil, and then we put rice on either side. It's so funny, you know, every now and then I flash back, or I don't flash, well, yeah, maybe I do flash back, on like a Vietnam movie or something like that. And, you know, especially hearing that noise, and looking at this rice paddy, it's like, okay, yeah, you know, standard scene from Apocalypse Now or whatever. But I see these things and I think to myself, if I were standing here, and obviously, you know, let's say the technology was the same, but if I was standing here on the year that I was born, transmitting this view right here with that sound in the background and these rice fields from this part of the world to my parents, how terrified would they be, right? I mean, late 60s, early 70s. I remember 2 years ago, I called my mom on New Year's Day from Vietnam. And I was like, Mom, when I was born, did you have any expectation that any time during my entire life I would ever call you on the phone, because of course they had telephones back then, I would ever call you on the phone and say, good morning, Mom, I'm in Vietnam on vacation. Not in 1968, I'll tell you that right now. So it's really amazing how the world changes. I'm still seeing blinking light on my camera, and if I touch the screen, it says, ooh, it's at red and 1%. Well, I don't see any downside to seeing how long this will go, because I also need to know, okay, so like what happens, what is the experience when the battery completely dies? I actually did bring the second battery with me, and I have another battery in my backpack.